Good evening. We'd like to begin the Greenbridge Town Council meeting this evening. It's September the 28th, 2020 at 7 p.m. And another work meeting. I'm sorry, something just happened to my camera, so you will not be able to see me. I can see mostly everybody else when they're speaking, but we'll continue on with our meeting this evening. It is 7 p.m. and we're going to start. We'll open our meeting with approval of the minutes and operating statements from the.
I make a motion that we approve the August operating statements, August 24, 2020 public hearing minutes, August 24, 2020 council meeting minutes, September 14, 2020 work session minutes, and Quantum's financial statement for August 2020.
I'll second it.
Perry, we can't hear you if you're speaking. Perry.
I think we're back on again. Okay, we had a motion and a second. We had a motion from Ellen. Do we have a second?
I second it.
All right, we lost you again, Perry.
Okay.
Perry.
I'm losing every.
Why don't you try to rejoin?
Okay. Are we back on?
We hear you.
Okay. All right. All right. All those in favor of the motion? Reading on the minutes of approval, aye.
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 Okay. No. Okay. Minutes approved. Okay, we're going to move on down to the mayor's report. Still hear me now, Dawn?
Yeah, you're in and out, but go ahead.
Okay, with the mayor's report, the mayor's Carroll County mayors had a meeting on September the 16th in Westminster. And that night we decided that all the towns were going to have trick or treat Halloween 31st, and trick or treat will be from 6:30 to 8 p.m. We thought that we couldn't take everything away from the kids, so we were going to have it. There's different ways you can do that. Most people, usually when we have trick or treat, I ride around town. People are sitting in their yards or on their front porches. You can distribute the candy yourself or put stuff in a little baggie. You just hand the baggie to when the children, when they come by, it'd be safe. You know, you don't have.
All right, Perry, we can't hear you again.
For them reaching in your candy bowl and stuff. So there's.
Okay, everybody hold on. I'm going to send him a message.
Alternative ways of doing that. Just make sure that everybody's safe. on September. Now, are we on?
I hear you now. You want to try to sign out and sign back on?
Okay, you're saying that I'm owning in and out. Okay.
All right, I'm going to call him and see what, and John, if you have any suggestions, if we can't get Perry to complete the meeting, you can let us know what we can do.
Did he call in on his phone? Is that what he's trying to do?
No, he's the one that's computer at home.
Well, maybe he should try to call in if the
Okay.
computer's not working, and maybe that will work.
All right, I'm going to call him on the phone. Right
Can you
now,
hear me? Okay, we'll try it again.
all right, we heard about Halloween, so move from there.
Okay, I said, September the 11th, I had all-day training on the computer. That was with the board of directors, the new board of directors for this year for MML. On September the 9th, I was at MML office all day. We had meetings all day. Then we came back, and on September the 23rd, I had a WRCC meeting that was down at the county. Reference that we talked about this year's upgrading the packet and everything. Also that day, we had a HEPAC committee meeting. Then that evening, I had a meeting with the committee, which Ellen is on, which the engagement and outreach. That was that evening. On the 26th, Saturday, we had a 10 o'clock meeting in reference to the conference planning for next summer's conference conference. And then this Wednesday, I'll be in Annapolis again all day for Wednesday. We also have our State High October the 1st, and it's going to be a virtual meeting with the town and state highway in reference to what we have planned and what we'd like to see for next year for the state highways. And then just to let everyone know that there's the town office and the public buildings have full coverage, surveillance coverage from now on. You go to the town office or anything, the front doors, back doors, the buildings, and everything does have surveillance 24/7. So just as part of the security that we've stepped up since everything has been going on, and it was a grant money that we received to help cover the cost of this. We have had incidents in the past where we've had irate customers come in and threaten to burn down the building and do different things and cuss out the clerk, spit on the windows and things like that. We'll have them on the camera from now on. Hopefully we don't have to press charges against anybody, but just to let everybody know that like the basketball court, the parking lot, everything out back in the building, it has full security now. So it's a little safer for our people that work in the town office. And it's also a lot safer for our building that we can see what's going on with the trash and stuff gets thrown around sometime and painted against the building and on the sidewalks. We at least hopefully we'll be able to tell who's doing this kind of destruction of our property now. So that is about all that I have right now on my report. At this time, we'll go to our attorney, John Maguire.
All right. Thank you, Mayor Jones. Can everybody hear me all right? All right.
Yes.
I wanted to take this opportunity to introduce a little more formally Mandy Porter from our office. I know that she's been on calls before and you've met her virtually before. We kind of deferred any introduction thinking that we would be meeting and you could meet her in person, which someday I'm sure that will happen. But in the meantime, since she's going to be helping to do some work for the town from time to time, I thought you might like to know that that she is grew up in Westminster, graduated from Westminster High School. Mandy earned her undergraduate bachelor's degree from UMBC in 2007. She graduated from the University of Baltimore Law School in 2011, and she immediately began private practice with the law firm in Baltimore County from 2011 to 2016. There was a little interruption there while she had her daughter, and then came back to work here at our firm in March of 2017. So she's been with us a little over 3 years, and we've been happy to have her, and hopefully you'll get to meet her soon. But I thought that now would be just as good a time as any to give you a little bit more background on Mandy. And Mandy, is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
Nope. I look forward to meeting you all again in person. This has been an interruption, I know, for all of us, but I do look forward to getting back to normal. I appreciate you all allowing me to be a part of this, and I look forward to working with you all in the future. Thank you.
Yeah, I neglected to mention that Mandy's husband, Mark, is a graduate of Francis Scott Key High, and her daughter's name is Mackenzie.
Yes.
And if you're lucky, you'll get a chance to meet Mackenzie. Maybe she'll be up at the carnival someday when we have a carnival again. So anyway, into the agenda. It's listed as update on the solar site plan, but really there are a couple parts to that. As part of the whole process, I think I mentioned to you that we were working on the annexation plat with the surveyors for the developer. It turns out that I have the second iteration of that plat, which I think is getting close to final. And it looks like the total acreage to be annexed will be 69.6 acres or thereabouts, subject to some refinement, but I think that's pretty close. And the way that, under the agreement, the developer will have to initiate the annexation prior to the start of construction. So I would anticipate that as they go down this process to get their site plan approved and they get closer to an actual permit to begin any type of construction, that they'll formally file their annexation petition. Of course, they're free to do it sooner, but there's probably still a ways off in terms of getting their site plan approved. And along those lines, you all may know that Ned Cuman attended a technical review committee meeting at the county today on that site plan. And the county is starting to generate some comments on the site plan. It's still early in that process, but this was an opportunity for the developer to hear and get some letters and written comments about the first version of the site plan that's been reviewed. So it's in the process. They will be refining it and negotiating with the county on some of the details. As Amy knows, we discussed with the Planning Commission that one of the issues is that they're showing a 73-foot setback along the Main Street corridor in the south part of town where the panels would go. And under the county regulations, and this is still in the county, the setback rule is 100 feet. So they're looking to vary the 100-foot setback on either side. And under the county regulations, the County Planning Commission can authorize a reduction down to the 73 feet. But the trade-off would be some type of screening or landscaping or buffering. So based on the comments that Ned got at the Union Bridge Planning Commission meeting, he made it known that the town has some concern about a reduction of the setbacks on either side of Main Street, and that we would like to see a justification before taking a formal position as to why the developer needs that variance. And at some point, the town then would be in a position to take a position before the Carroll County Planning Commission when the developer asks for that variance. So that's all still in the early stage of discussion, but I know that's something that not only the Planning Commission, but the council is interested in. So I know Ned will keep us up to date on how that's progressing. And Ned also asked me to mention that because the town is on the circulation list for these comments that come through the county process, that he has asked that copies of comments and documents and markups of the plan itself all be sent and kept at the town, so that any of you can come in from time to time or when you're in town hall and look at that information to sort of keep abreast of what's happening there. So we'll rely somewhat on Ned to keep us in the loop on that. Ned's also in contact with the PPRP people, Fred Kelly, who were instrumental in arriving at some of the design details of the site plan at the Public Service Commission. And so he wants to keep them engaged so that all of the things that the judge ordered are being addressed. And that's part of items that we need to educate the county about that, because they weren't in the middle of that process. So they don't have as much background on that as Ned does and some of us in the town. So that's the first part of an update on the site plan. The second part is that in discussing this before the Planning Commission, Chairman Long made a recommendation that all of the members present on the Planning Commission agreed with, to recommend to the council that the town adopt its own solar zoning regulations And the discussion, that's not something that I had thought about before the meeting. That was something that came from Chairman Long. But the support for it was very strong. And the idea is, of course, that on a large scale project like the UB solar project, the town zoning laws were preempted and the matter goes to the Public Service Commission. But Tom's thought was that he's seeing these smaller projects, and the one he cited was the one in New Windsor now, where they don't necessarily go to the Public Service Commission, and where the town might want to have regulations that would control a project such as that. And this all kind of grew out of the discussion about the county process and the site plan at the county, and what would happen if somebody came in with a site plan for a town project. So that was the feeling. And what we didn't know at the time, because we didn't have a lot of opportunity to think about it and research it, is how much land around town, would be available for an additional project. And then Ned made the point that, well, there's always a possibility it would be annexed. So there could be the need for that type of legislation at some point. So I'm here to carry that message to you all on the council. And if the council's wishes are to go forward with that, then we will do that. I think probably using the county ordinance as the pattern. And of course, if the council wants to defer or delay that, then we'll report that back to the Planning Commission. But either way, I think it is a council decision whether to go to the next step. So do
I'd like for us to consider that, John, go with, similar to the county ordinance, but have our own town ordinance on that.
Okay. Is that I know that's Amy's feeling because she was at the Planning Commission meeting. Edgar, Laura, any other thoughts?
I feel the same way. I think we ought to move on with it.
Okay.
I agree.
All right. Well, then that'll work similar to the ordinance 316 that was just adopted last month. We'll prepare an ordinance. We'll take a look at what the county does, how it compares with the town's needs, and then bring it to the Planning Commission for a recommendation back to you. So that'll take a little bit of time, but it'll be the same cycle. And we'll talk about that here in-house, but probably Mandy will work on that. Since she heard the discussion at the Planning Commission, so she's on top of what they're thinking.
Is that just for like solar farms, John, or is that for any solar in town? Like if a resident wanted to put solar on their property for just their use, or is it for just solar farms?
It can be either, but my recollection in looking at the county ordinance is it goes from, residential to commercial to industrial, all the different types. What's allowed as a matter of right? What is allowed as a matter of right versus what you might need to get special approval for. And right now, I'm not sure the town has had to make many, if any, decisions on that. But I believe in some of the loose discussion we've had is that on a residential application, as long as it's within reason, I think the town's viewed it as just an accessory use. So that may or may not be the way it ends up if we take a closer look.
I know that the county one has, for residential accessory use, has limitations on how much you can put on your property, where you can put it, based on the size of your property. Right, and they make the distinction between ground mounted and building mounted. And, I guess we'll have to look at all that and see what works, in the town.
Yeah, I wouldn't want us to get too specific on what people put on the roofs of their house. I think that's their property, and what they put on their roof is most of the time isn't visible. I mean, you can see it on the roof, but it's not obstructing, the ground value or anything like that. They're people's doing it for the value of saving electricity or whatever in their own home. So I think that's part of, we have to look at the ordinance that we don't restrict that too much, telling people what they can put on their own roof and everything. But as far as if it's ground mount, I think we should have some say, so it's not an eyesore or something like that. But most of the roof mount, I don't want to make real specific ordinance on that, saying that they can't do it if it's on top of their own roof of their house. That's only my opinion, but.
Okay. Any further discussion on that? All right. Then the only other thing I have is just to note that Ordinance 316, which was adopted last month, now authorizes you to appoint a zoning administrator. That was one of the things in the ordinance, even if that person is not a town resident. So it's the ordinance is now effective, and I know it's not on the agenda tonight. It would need to be on the agenda to make the appointment, but the mayor can now make a recommendation, and that can move forward if you desire.
Okay, I would like to make a recommendation that Mike Reynolds, which is doing work for the town, he's there in the office, more frequent. I would make a recommendation that Mike Reynolds would be our zoning administrator. And I'm not sure when that date runs out for that person, but would take over from that position from Chad Green.
Okay. My only advice at this point is that we put that on the agenda for next time, so
Right.
that it's been publicized, and if anybody who's interested would be able to observe, the proceedings on that. So Dawn, I guess that's just something to go on the next month's agenda.
Okay, will do.
And that's all I have this evening. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, John. Okay, next on my agenda, I have Deputy Calusi. Is Brian with us this evening?
I am.
Okay,
All right, between the dates of August 24th until September 27th, the sheriff's office responded to 58 calls for service within the town limits of Union Bridge. Out of those calls for service, only 3 required reports, which were the following. August 31st at approximately 2:16 p.m., deputies responded to the Union block of East Albert Street in reference to a malicious destruction of property. Investigation revealed that unknown suspects smashed out 2 windows on a vehicle parked along the street. Case remains open on that one. On September 3rd at approximately 6 p.m., deputies responded to 200 block of East Elmer Street in reference to a domestic assault. Investigation revealed that a boyfriend and girlfriend got into a verbal argument over living arrangements, at which time one of the subjects threw a cup at the other, striking them in the face. No signs of injuries were observed. The victim was referred to the Carroll County District Court Commissioner and filed their own charges. While on scene, a third party was identified and discovered that they had an open warrant, at which time they were taken into custody and transported to the detention center without incident. Case was closed by active prosecution. On September 11th at approximately 4:31 p.m., deputies responded to the Union block of North Main Street in reference to a malicious destruction of property. Investigation revealed that a window was broken on the building at the location by unknown means. Case remains open on that. Other notes, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the annual National Night Outs activities throughout the county have been canceled. However, the Sheriff's Office and Westminster Police Department has teamed up and will be holding a virtual National Night Out during the week of October 5th through October 9th. Please follow the Sheriff's Office Facebook page for a series of crime prevention tip videos, and make sure that you show us support by pushing that like button. Other notes, there has been talks about schools reopening here in the very near future. So please be mindful that when that does occur, watch out for school bus traffic, traveling along roadways, and make sure that you are stopping at all school buses that are utilizing their alternating flashing red lights and stop signs. If you fail to obey the signs, you could face a $570 fine and have 3 points placed on your driving record. And there will be more information coming out. I do know that the school board has installed more stuff on the school buses, so I'll let them share that in the future. Lastly, hunting season has officially started. Calling wildlife and start running for cover. Please use caution when traveling roadways and slow down and focus on the roadways to avoid that accident. Other than that, that's all I have. Any questions or comments?
Okay. Thank you, Brian. Okay. Okay, next on my agenda, I have public comments and concerns. If anyone in the audience may have something they want to bring up tonight?
Harry, it's Sherry Thompson.
Yes, Sherry, go ahead.
Just wanted to make everybody aware and thank the town council for agreeing to let us do the pumpkin people and their scarecrow cousins are coming to Union Bridge. We're encouraging businesses, residents, as well as nonprofits to do displays. We're going to do them up and down Main Street. People can do them at their residence as long as they're in town. They can pick up an application at Union Bridge shop and or go on our Dream Big Facebook page for applications. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and there'll be a prize given for each category. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We've had a lot of interest, and a lot of people seem to be upbeat about it. So thank you all for agreeing to let us put that on.
Okay, thank you for having the time and the willpower to do that. Okay. All right, is anyone else? Public comments or concerns? Okay, hearing none, we're going to start with committee reports. Laura?
I attended the CCRC meeting on September 10th, and I did not have any late calls for this month. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Amy?
Hello. Sherry, just so you know, I'm in charge of the pumpkin for the town, the pumpkin person or the scarecrow, and I will be giving you paperwork. And I just have a question. I haven't had any reports or calls for water since our last meeting. Do you guys want me to put the purple lights at the town parking lot again for the drug awareness for October?
Yes, if you have the lights and have, people who want to help you put them up, yes.
Okay, great. I will do that. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Edgar?
Yeah, I don't have anything this time.
Okay. Ellen?
I attended the first meeting for the Engagement and Outreach Committee, our first virtual meeting, which is a lot different, but we got a lot accomplished. And we are going to have the If I Were Mayor contest. At this point, we're brainstorming on options on how to do it if the kids can't make it to the school, and also how to do the reading of the essays and everything if we still can't meet in groups. And I apologize, Perry. I thought I wrote down your theme and I forgot. It's not written down. I know that it was together we can do anything or something like that. So could you remind me what that was?
Working together, getting things done.
Thank you. So we're working on questions on a theme for the essay. Most likely something along that line. We threw out some brainstorming, but it'll take a little longer to get that all together. Also a reminder to continue doing things for the Banner City, Banner Town. So far we have, I think it was 103 who have attended summer conference. So we'll see how many make it through the fall conference to give us a better idea of how many we're going to have in the end. Other than that, I don't have anything right now.
Okay, I guess I come up with that theme, thinking about with all the disruptions that we have in the world today, election year this year and everything. And, it's like I told the committee last week, the Maryland Municipal League and the municipalities have a very good opportunity to show the rest of everybody that we do work together and we can get things done. We can get things done, and we don't have to be disruptive. We don't have to be, destroying people's property or looting and things like that. But I think the MML has the prime spot this year where Maryland can be number one. If they all work together, we represent 157 municipalities. The last census was 1.5 million people. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised with the new census when it comes out later this year. We're going to be close to 2 million people. And I just think that we're in the number one spot right now to show the rest of the United States that we are different. We can work together. We can get things done. We don't have to be disrupting everything, even though, with the situation they had in Ocean City over the weekend, that had nothing to do with most of the people from Maryland. But, I think this is the prime opportunity for us to get out there and get something done. And the rest of the council, if you get by the town office, you'll get a copy of my acceptance speech that I had for Ocean City. There's been some of the places in Montgomery County and Prince George's County were a little upset with my acceptance speech. So I made copies for everybody to look at that, read it, understand it. You may have to defend the mayor if you think that I was right in what I said on my acceptance speech, and that's up to you. It's up to you to decide, but I think by being a Carroll Countyan and the way things work in Union Bridge and the way things work in Carroll County, I thought that speech was very well handled, very good. So that's the reason why every one of you have a copy in your file. I want you to understand it, just in case you get out amongst the public and you do meet up with some of these people from PG County and all, you can either defend me or whatever you want to do, but I think it's important that you understand what's going on. I don't think I did anything to hurt anybody's feelings, but apparently some people were hurt by that. But just so you have fair warning and you can make up your own mind and decisions on that. Did you have anything else, Ellen?
Just to say that I was really happy with your theme because it's going to be a lot easier to come up with scenarios and questions than some of the themes we've had over the years. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now one thing I did forget to bring up, a few weeks ago, there was a sale up on Kraus Mill Road, and I had a gentleman go to that sale because I saw something that was advertised. It was wooden water mains that were from the town of Union Bridge. And I know there's probably mostly everybody in Union Bridge has never seen a wooden water main. I did purchase those mains, and I'm bringing one down to the town office, and hopefully we'll find a place back in the meeting room where we can display it so people can view that. It's about 8 foot long, about a 5-inch square piece of wood that they took, and they drew a hole all the way through it, and they made a wooden water main. These mains were originally manufactured back in 1836 is when they started making them. Town of Union Bridge had some up until probably 1940s or something like that. So we do have this on display. We will have it on display in the town office. I did give Jerry Stanball, loaned him a section of it to put on display with some of the other displays at the Flood Zone Brewery. Like I say, there's a gentleman that has worked in construction business all his life. He said he's never seen one before. So there will be some literature on that. It's going to be one piece will be displayed at Flood Zone, and we'll have another section of it displayed in the Union Bridge town office. Of course, I bought them, so I'm gonna have a piece of it and I'm gonna have on display at either my residence or down at my workplace or something, but that's gonna be on display real soon, and I'm sure it's gonna be a very good conversation piece because people in our generations have never seen it. And like I say, Jerry Stanball said he's been working in the ground with water lines and pipes all his life, and that's the first time he's ever seen one. So it will be kind of interesting. It's an educational piece for everybody, and we'll have that on display soon. That's all I have. I have here our next meeting, work session will be October the 12th. And I'm not sure, but I think that's
12th is
Columbus Day.
Columbus Day.
So we'll change that.
To October 5th.
October 5th would be fine with me. And our next council meeting will be October the 26th at 7 p.m. So is there anything else to come before the council tonight? Okay, hearing nothing, we're in line for adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Okay,
I'll second that.
we have a motion and a second. Are there any further questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Those motions adjourned. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next month.